Hello my dirty little dumplings and welcome back to Brian Abroad. It actually snowed the other day here in Beijing, which basically never happens, so I decided to go to Beijing's Temple of Heaven Park. If it does snow here, it's pretty popular for people to go to places like the Forbidden City or Temple of Heaven because those places tend to look really cool in the snow. All of the stonework and red walls and red structures really stand out in the snow and create some pretty amazing winter scenery. Now when people think about the Temple of Heaven, they tend to picture the most famous structure there, which is actually called the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest. But the park has so much more than that. The park covers more than 1 square mile of land and contains 92 different structures. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the winter scenery down at Temple of Heaven Park. I'm also going to be introducing some of the more significant structures from the park and talking just a little bit about what they used to be used for. Starting here at the pavilion where animals used to be sacrificed. Sorry, I'm kind of starting this off low, but I swear it's gonna get better after that. So, grab your coat and let's get started. So where I am right now, apparently this building was used for animal sacrifices, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look inside. So that room was just a small room. They have the area where the animals were cleaned before the sacrifice, and they had some of the pots that they used to use to boil water and things like that, or hold water. We're actually gonna head to the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest now, which is actually the most famous building here, the one that most people think of when they think about the Temple of Heaven. I can actually see it in the distance here. Let me show you guys. There's so many people, but it's back there. Check out this hallway. In the springtime, a lot of the elderly people gather here to play chess and cards with each other, and usually they're all sitting on this wall here. Actually, there might be some people. Oh no, those people are making snow animals on a trash can. But in the springtime, in the summertime, there's usually a lot of people here playing games, but it's too cold now. No one's playing any games today. There it is. The Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest. I have to keep taking off my mask because my glasses are fogging up so bad that I can't see anything, and I almost fell on the stairs and died. So I'm kind of waiting to get in trouble, like someone's gonna yell at me to put it back on. I figured that while I'm here, I would tell you guys a little bit about what some of the different buildings were used for. I did some research online. I'm not an expert on Chinese history because in America, we don't really learn a whole lot about it, to be honest. But I can't tell if someone's taking my picture or if someone's taking the temple's picture. These buildings were built in the early 1400s and 1500s, and they were used by the emperors of the Ming and the Qing dynasties. The emperor would come here to pay tribute and pray to the heavens, and also to pray for good harvests. And this particular building was really important for that. The emperor would come here in the beginning of the Spring Festival, so the Chinese New Year, and he would pray for good harvest in the upcoming year. So a lot of the buildings that are used around the perimeter of the Temple of Prayer for Good Harvest are now being used for exhibit space. One thing that's interesting to know is that in 1889, lightning actually struck the temple and it was damaged by fire and it had to be rebuilt. So some parts of the structure that we're looking at here are not the original structure, but it's something that happens a lot with old buildings in China because they are made of wood. I think we can get a little closer and check out the inside a little bit as well. They put these rugs on the stairs so that you don't fall, but the rugs aren't very stationary and they keep moving under my feet, and I feel like it's almost worse than just leaving the snow here. There's the inside of the building. Let's see some of the other angles here. One of the things I learned by doing a little bit of research last night too is that people used to think of the earth as square and heaven as round. So there's a lot of symbolism in the park with squares and circles to show the relationship between earth and heaven. Circular buildings, there's square walls all around them. There's all kinds of different patterns on the ceiling and on the inside of the structure behind me. And they used all that to show the relationship between the earth and heaven. You guys, I'm trying to walk down the stairs to explore some of these buildings
buildings, and I am falling all over the place. I'm like kind of afraid that the headline in the news tomorrow is gonna be like, foreigner dies on icy stairs at Temple of Heaven Park. Also, I dropped my glove twice, and some lady was nice enough to be like, hello, excuse me, which is why it's covered in snow now. So we're not doing so good. I also forgot my portable battery at home, and my phone does not do very well in the cold. So I'm watching the battery like rapidly decrease as I film this. Also not very good. So I think I'm gonna try to head to the other like really important place that I wanna show you guys before my phone dies. If my phone does die, I don't really know how I'll get home today. Interesting. All right, you guys, so we're finished with the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest, and now we're making our way to the circular mound altar. My phone, still hanging in there. Me, on the other hand, I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. I almost just fell so hard. Wow, the view from the other direction is just as amazing. So on the way to the circular mound altar, there's this really cool area called the echo wall. Basically, because of the round shape of the wall and because of the smoothness of the stone, if you yell something, the sound waves can travel around the perimeter of the wall and reach people who are further down the way, basically. And there's some little kids over here who are testing this out now. You can hear it echo, but I think the problem is that he's already so loud that people can hear him no matter where he is anyway. Also, probably shouldn't be on the other side of the gate, but oh well. You can actually hear the people on the outside really well too. All right, this is the top of the circular mound altar. The center point is currently covered by one of the rugs, so you don't slip and fall and kill yourself here. But I think that this is the centermost point of the altar that was used for praying. So the stone in the middle is called the Heavenly Center Stone, and it was believed that anyone who stood here, their voice would be better heard by heaven, basically, by standing here and praying. So this particular altar was used for two really important ceremonies. In the summer solstice, the emperor would come here and pray to heaven for good harvest, good crops. In the winter solstice, the emperor would come here to thank heaven for all the crops and for the good harvest. The scenery here in the snow is just amazing. I can't get over it. And you can even see the city over here in the background. I was also reading online that all of these different ceremonies needed to be expertly carried out because they believed that if they even made one small mistake, it would bring bad fortune to them, and then they wouldn't have the good harvest that they were hoping for. And there's a lot of different steps that needed to be followed in order to carry them out the right way. I believe the emperor had to come here 3 days in advance before the different ceremonies, and he had to clean himself and abstain from drinking alcohol or eating meat. And I also think that the emperor had to carry these things out kind of like in private. He had to do them himself, and he had to do them perfectly, or else it would be bad luck. Kind of like walking on these icy steps. Okay, you guys, so obviously there's a lot more that I could show you about the Temple of Heaven, but my phone's gonna die. Thanks, Apple, love it. I don't mind spending $1,000 for a battery that lasts 5 minutes in the cold. It's fine. But I hope you guys still enjoyed this very short tour of some of the facilities here at the Temple of Heaven in Beijing. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this one here on my channel, click that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell so that you get notified when I upload another video here on this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.